Welcome to a new anime review series. This review series that a lot of people are probably thinking, really? You're reviewing this series? You're probably wondering why. I'm going to tell you why over the course of this video, and of course this entire video series. How many videos did I plan for this one? Roughly like about 2 dozen. Yeah, probably my longest one in quite some time. Because I wanted to spread the series out. That's basically just of it. This is a review of the Cardcaptor Sakura anime. Yes. Over the course of this review series, I'll be covering all 70 episodes of the actual anime, the 2 films, the 3 shorts, and of course, the Clear Card anime, which was the sequel to this one. The manga itself started from November of 1986 and in July of 2000. The anime itself was actually a lot shorter than that. It started April 7th, 1998, and then in March 21st, 2000. Why in the world did the anime end before the manga did? I have no idea. It's one of the most strangest things. Now, the thing about the manga is it published 50 chapters. You might be thinking, 50 chapters in 4 years. Must be a monthly manga series. It probably was. Yep, I've only read the first 30 chapters of this series. Now, the thing with this series, it's a magical girl series, and the main protagonist is a girl at elementary school who is 10 years old, and is by far the youngest protagonist of a series I have ever watched. Some of you might say, what about Konen Ogawa from Case Closed, the guy whose series you reviewed for the first 6 months? That doesn't count due to the fact that he is actually 17 years old, and he was turned into a 7-year-old via a drug that was actually supposed to kill him. Now, you probably think, okay, if she's the youngest, who's the oldest? There is a couple people. One, of course, is Count Dracula himself in the series, Helsing. Oh yes, Helsing, aka Alucard. A guy who was over 100 years old. Or at least probably close to 500. Maybe even older. The only one else close to that is probably Toriko, who was in his mid-20s. Yep, almost everybody else I reviewed had between the ages of 12 to 19. Yep, pretty much all like middle school and high schoolers. First time I actually viewed an elementary schooler. Yep. Now the girl herself, Sakura. Now here's the thing. Now this of course is the original dub. Well, yes. If you wonder who made the anime, it was frickin' Madhouse. Oh yes, Madhouse. This that made shows like the 2011 Hunter x Hunter series, Overlord, the Marvel anime, the Death Note anime. Yes, this is the same studio that made it years before then. It's something though they never actually, properly finished telling the story. Now, in the original dub, I can't really tell which one it is. It's the one done by the first season. The first season's dub, let's see if I can find it here. Because apparently, like with Sailor Moon, this series had several different dubs for some reason. Yes. The original dub was dubbed by Nirvana. Never heard of this group at all. But from I don't think it's Monica Real who voices her. Yeah. Now the thing with this series is that the main character's name is Sakura, even though the dub pronounced name is Sakura. I have no idea why the heck they pronounce it like that. They kind of did the same thing for basically the guy who created the cards that this little girl's supposed to capture. Clow Reed. They refer to him as Chloe Reed. I have no idea why. Yeah, it's a minor thing when it comes to the series. You also have the character Cerberus, who takes the form of a small flying teddy bear. Yep. Yeah. Now, over the course of these few episodes, we only get used to just a few characters. Yep. We have Sakura. We have frickin' Cerberus, who I think is voiced by. Let's see if I can find him here. I think it's Wendy. No, it's not Wendy Lee. I'm trying to look up basically who it is voicing the dub. I think it's Matt Hill who voiced him. You also have Tamio. Yes, the the beautiful little girl who's the same age as Sakura, and she's basically her best friend. Appears in pretty much all the episodes. And of course, you also have her brother, mm-hmm. Tuya, who is very annoying. Yep. He's voiced by Tony Sampson. I'm not familiar with this guy at all. You also have Yukido. Yep. He is voiced by Samuel Vincent. Mm-hmm. And that's all the characters introduced in the first few episodes. Now, in the first episode, unlike in the manga started out basically with the character already got her powers, and of course already searching for the cards and already captures two of them. The first episode is a really good start to the premise, though it's more like a little girl in love with a teenager thing. It's particularly very odd, to say the least. Yes, a 10-year-old who thinks 16-year-old guy is dreamy to her, even though this is very creepy. Yes, it's just a crush. I highly doubt it's going to go anyplace. So there's that. Yep, the episode surprisingly starts off with Sakura. I'm going to pronounce it like that because that's the appropriate way to address it, how to pronounce this woman's name. From what I've read, the name means beautiful flower in Japanese. So she dreams about Cerberus, the Cardcaptor cards, her staff, and the freaking book. Which, if you look at it, it's pretty much a similar opening to Sailor Moon. The main character waking up from her dream she really liked. Yep. Then she goes out to school. Though, yeah, kind of like in that one, she's kind of like running late. Like usual. And of course she just runs off, and then of course she's terrible at school. The thing is, Sakura herself is, with the exception of let's just say I think it's like the only subject she has like was freaking math, which even I didn't like that when I was in school. She's actually a really smart student. Mm-hmm. Unlike Usagi, who is a terrible student. Yep. Who, thanks to one of her closest friends, the one who became Sailor Mercury, she actually tutored her. Mm-hmm. Yep. But in the case of this one, they only have one best friend at this point. A girl who's around the same age as her. And, well, there's that. And, of course, she's seen a lot of time rollerblading. Yep, she has a thing for rollerblading. I don't know what her thing is with rollerblading, but she rollerblades a lot in these episodes. And also, she changes her outfit every episode. The first episode introduces only two outfits. Her PJs and her school uniform. That's basically it. Now, when she gets home, that's when... Yeah, it's not until you get about 5 minutes into the episode you finally get something more interesting than just a 10-year-old fawning over a teenager. Yeah, I've heard just basically going to the basement, which is a library. Now, from what I've heard, the way they explain it, her father is a single father who is a widower. And here's the thing: Sakura's mother died when she was 3, so she died 7 years before the events of the series. Now, normally this be a thing Disney would do a lot of the time. Despite being a family-friendly company, they apparently can't have an actual family in their movies. A lot of the time, the parents are single. And of course, one of the spouses is dead. Some refer to as accidentalitis because half the time they don't bother to explain why these people are freaking dead. One good example of this is The Princess Diaries, where in that particular film, the mother's alive, but the father's dead. Another good example, this is even common for TV to do this, where the father's alive, but the mother's dead. Yep, I have no idea why the heck that some studios think this is a good idea. A single parent. Yes, I get the fact it's very common nowadays. But here's the thing. That does not make for good frickin' fiction. At least this is fine. At least they explain the fact that Sakura has no problem with the fact her mother's gone. I mean, she's living on this planet for 7 years. She's gotten over the fact her mother's passed away, which is gotta be very brave for a woman who's for a little girl. Now, any child would be sort of not in a very good mood if over the years if their parent passed away. I of course don't have that problem because my parents are alive. But that is not something I don't want to talk about. Yep. Her brother is very annoying to her, calling her a monster because, well, whenever she comes down the stairs, it's basically stomping. So she gets back at him once in the same episode when she kicks him in the frickin' shin for insulting her in front of a guy she's crushing on, who just happens to be her brother's best friend. Yep. And of course, well, she runs out, does a little thing with the school, gets home, runs to the cloud card thing, sees the book, opens it up. All the cards escape after she takes out the windy card. Yeah, surprisingly, this is the one she actually keeps. And she uses this card, of the 5 episodes I watched, she uses it all but one. Yeah, there's one episode she doesn't use it, and that's actually the last one I watched. Yep. And the first card she comes across now, we also introduce Cerberus, who basically explains that Cloud Reed basically made these cards 30 years into the series. Basically, well before Sakura was even born. Probably when her parents were freaking teenagers. Possibly. And all the cards the same, except for Windy card. And so, Cerberus dubs her the Cardcaptor. Even though she has no desire to do it at all. Yeah, this was just basically a thing for the first episode. And the second one. You're the Cardcaptor. Said, no, I'm just a 10-year-old girl. Yeah, I'm like, okay. Yeah, this is kind of similar to this is another thing the thing has common with Sailor Moon. The main character cries a lot, though it's not a big thing with her as is with Usagi, who is 14 and basically 4 years older than this girl, and who is in middle school, not elementary school. Yep. So she goes out and basically comes across her first cloud card, the fly card, which takes the form of a giant freaking bird. How does she defeat it? Well, first she's given her staff, which she uses to pretty much the whole series, which also to make a cameo in an episode of Triple X Holic, which I theorize the reason why it made appearance there is because Clamp made the series too. Yep. And plus also people who probably made the series probably were fans of Cardcaptor Sakura. They probably just threw it in just as an Easter egg. So she transforms her staff, which is a bit of a long sequence. So basically its normal shape is a key, and it's released to form a staff about this big. So, she basically flies, she jumps on top of the bird, uses the wind card to bind it, transfers back to the upper card, and that's it. Next episode, her best friend comes up to her base, and here's the thing about her best friend, Toyo. She is a girl she's basically a camera girl. Oh, and also here's the thing. She is rich. Filthy rich. I'm like, okay. Best friend to one of the characters of the series who's happened to be rich. As far as I know of all the series I've watched, the only other series like this is Case Closed, where Rachel's love interest, not her best friend, is also rich. As far as I can tell, I can't think of any other series that's been like this I've watched, where not the main character is rich, but basically the best friend is rich. I'm trying to think. The only series I can think has been like this, let's see, Momo from My Hero Academia. I'm not sure how you call it for Black Clover. Let's see. Definitely not Black Clover because the main character's rich. Let's see. I could say Bleach because Uru. Yeah. What else? No, I can't think of any other series that, off the top of my head, basically that I have reviewed where it's like that because, yep. So she's also the one. Now, videotapes her. She also finds out about her being the card captive. Via basically videotaped the night prior. Basically, tells her everything. But it's okay. It's okay to have a close confidant. I mean, telling her is actually a really good move on the part of the series, and it's something to tell this in the second episode of the series. I mean, yeah, it's always good to have a close confidant, and of course, being the best friend is basically great. It's something though she never tells her parents about that. They'll tell her dad or brother about this. Nope. Kind of like in Sailor Moon, where Usagi never tells her parents that she's a reincarnated princess, who in the future is married, a queen, and she's the ruler of the frickin' planet. This series, Sakura, well, she does have a character over the course of the series, mainly of course the Cardcaptor cards. Though in the case second episode, they go after, I believe it's the Shadow card, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they go after the Shadow card in the very second episode, which is called Partners of Crime. The first one is called One Faithful Day, which, by the way, the original release date of this thing, they actually released these episodes out of order. I have no idea why the heck they did this for. It's so odd. The fact is, now, the whole series has been dubbed, unlike some other series I've watched. Yeah, the whole thing has been dubbed, but the whole series was released out of order. Yeah, it's one of the stupidest marketing decisions that you can ever do for a TV series. You make all these episodes, and you put in these... and I'm sure that the people who made them basically put in the proper order, and they basically never released them out of order. How stupid is that? So people are confused about the plot development of the series. Yep. Now, with the whole thing with Shadow Card, it basically takes you with shadows and basically causes freaking mayhem across the school. So, she gets her first outfit in the series, which is basically... It's not just her outfit, it's kind of like a bow with a cape, and Cerberus gets his first, addition to his outfit, which is simply a bow. Yeah, because Tamio basically is like that. How she finds out about Cerberus, he just happens to pop out of her backpack. Yeah. Not even she knew that he was in her backpack. It's particularly quite odd. But it's a good thing that he was there. Then they take on the shadow card, and he uses basically wind. Basically very similarly with the shadow card. Binds it, seals in the card, and there's that. The third episode, they come across the water card at a aquarium. Makes sense. Though also in the episode, Yukito takes the 10-year-old on a date to the aquarium, and that should shave ice. Yeah, it's a particularly very... Now, the first time she kind of counters it is when a penguin trainer gets caught up in it, nearly drowns the girl, and then also nearly drowns a frickin' penguin. Yep. And this is, of course, one of the big four. And she defeats this thing in the most unusual way possible. Not using the windy card this time. Well, she does, but not use the bind against this frickin' water. So what does she do? Drag it to the frickin' freezer and close the door. Which, wow, what an ingenious move using ice. Use a freezer to basically defeat water. Not a bad idea to do. The fourth episode, it has 2 cars. This one. Yeah, here's the thing to serve for this one. Sakura made basically planned a picnic with her best friend on a Sunday. Which apparently that was also the day that she has to do all the house chores. I'm thinking, a 10-year-old doing all these chores? Why the heck would a 10-year-old do all these chores for? I mean, I didn't start doing chores until I was basically around past the age of 12. Yeah, it's quite odd a 10-year-old would be doing this. Yeah. I mean, this involves, cleaning the floor, doing the laundry. I didn't start doing laundry until I was basically in high school. Yeah. Though it's Cerberus who does the laundry. It's okay, he's there, why not? And, of course, during the cleaning, she comes across two cloud cards. First one just happened to be lying underneath the rug. As for how the heck got there, never explained. What card is it? The wood card. Yep. And then she goes on, she basically cleans all over the house. Okay, and then she's like, okay, we have one more area to clean. The basement. And then she's like vacuuming and she comes across another cloud card. This time covering, she doesn't know what the heck this thing is. You want to know what card this is? This is the rain card. Yes, the rain card. So, she leaves the cards on a table in the basement before she can even sign them. Yes, she has to sign them in order to properly seal them. And she goes to meet Cerberus, and then all of a sudden, a tree grows out of the freaking basement. Yep. So basically, grows. It surprisingly does not damage the house. No, there's no structural damage. Surprisingly, despite the fact normally, whenever you see in fiction, we see a tree go out of the basement, it pretty much destroys the entire house. All this tree did was probably scratch the furniture up. Well, mostly anyways. Lucky enough, Tamio decided to come by and give her a very cool looking outfit, which is, from what I can tell, it's the signature outfit she wore for a lot of the series. Heck, she wore this during the end of this particular arc in the manga. And then, let's see. She defeats, first she seals the wind card, but the card doesn't come back to her because, the rain card basically is there. You ever think, okay, the rain card, is this a big, what is this thing? It's a tiny cloud, the size of your hand. Yep. How is this defeated? Well, they use the water card on it. Okay. It's also the first episode they don't use the windy card. Yeah, first one they don't do it. So they capture pretty easily by trapping it, putting its own card, and the wind card transforms back to its normal self and becomes a card. And of course, Sakura signs its name on it in English, mind you. Yes, in English, which, yeah, for a series that was dubbed, I'm surprised they actually did that because I'm sure probably in Japan it was probably written in Japanese characters. I'm not sure how it is in the sub, but I'm sure they probably wrote in Japanese characters. Either that, or she probably did write it in name in English. Yep. The last episode I'm going to cover is the 5th episode of the series, which is called Trouble at Twin Bells. Yeah. Basically, you have Sakura on the way to school, runs into an owner of a toy store, a beautiful woman. Now, the episode doesn't start there. No, it starts off with a little girl who has all these stuffed animals around her head, and things just come to life. It's not explained till later what the heck caused this thing to happen. So they show her basically having trouble getting in the shop, like pick the stuff up. Of course, that comes by later, and then she comes by with her friends, and apparently the shop is not put together. I'm like, okay. The school will probably last for about part of the day. My guess from probably 8 o'clock to about, and this is elementary school, probably about 2, 3 o'clock ish. And they come by, and all that time she still hasn't put together the stuff. I'm like, what does she do all day? Just lie around in her office or lie on the floor? Well, their friends basically put stuff together, and one of them, who's a big fan of stuffed animals, takes one of them home with her. And that thing disappears from her home. They don't say what it is, but they don't figure out till later. And they go back to the shop. We have Tuyo basically distracting the owner of the store, Maggie. That's their name in the dub. Basically, Maggie. Mm-hmm. Now came is Makia Masamo. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically teach her how to make that. Basically, teach her how to make that awesome tea that she basically offered her when they first got to the store. Mm-hmm. Yeah, her name is Maggie in the dub, but in the sub it's Makima Shimo. Mm-hmm. I mean, she herself is a good character, and she does come back after this episode. Mm-hmm. Yep. And they find out what it is. And Sakura just pulling out these various items, pulls out another strange animal, and Kuros point out, though, yeah, that's the jump card. This creature's jump card. Okay. And then they chase out the store, where the thing just basically busts a freaking window open, chase her down to a freaking park, then goes like kaiju size, about to stop it, and it runs out of air. Okay. Yeah, Sakura does not defeat this thing. Not really, tries to, but fails. With the whole thing of basically trying to seal it. Eventually, seals it, turns back normal, and of course, she and Tommy have the most embarrassing task of all, taking all these toys back to the toy store. And then later on, basically, Toy Story becomes very popular, and there's that. Overall, these 5 episodes are really good. Excuse me. The only thing I didn't like about this series is the romance stuff, with that made me kind of uncomfortable. A 10-year-old is fawning over a 16-year-old. Yeah, this by far in the West would be heavily inappropriate. Luckily enough that he does not basically act that way toward her. He basically treats her basically kind of like a little sister to her. He treats her like a little sister, and he probably does suspect that she probably has a crush on him, but he doesn't want to dive into it. But he treats her basically a good amount of respect, which is nice. Her brother doesn't do very much in these episodes. If you want to think of one character who's just check frickin' squat these episodes, it's her father, who only shows up for 2 episodes. Shows up in the first episode and the 5th episode. He doesn't do very much. Actually, he showed up in episode 4. He doesn't do very much. He apparently is a archaeology professor. Yep. Not much else to say about these 5 episodes, but there's that. Okay, so that's it for this particular review. I have one more review coming for today. Now, this review was supposed to be done yesterday, but I was able to do it for 2 reasons. One, time. That's an obvious reason. Another, because I was exhausted coming home from rally last night, so I wasn't able to do a recording last night. So I want to make sure it was fresh when I did these recording. Okay. But until I see you in that next video, which review of Black Clover. Okay. See you in the next video. Bye.